Hello guys, welcome back to the Grazing Daisy. Today I wanted to share with you how I put together my hydroponics garden and how it's been going. I've had it all set up for a couple of weeks now and the seeds have already sprouted and they're already growing some plants. The setup was super easy, super quick, and it went really smoothly. So yeah, I figured I'd just come and take a quick little video and show you how I put together my GreeHealth hydroponics garden.
The first step of putting together the hydroponics garden was inserting the pump and putting these little foam filters around it. It wasn't too difficult to put them on, although it did take a little bit of extra wiggling, but eventually it did go on and it was just fine. Next, I had to prep the plant food. So there was two different kinds, B and A. As you can see from the video, they were very different looking on the inside. So we were just supposed to fill them up with water and shake them. And I was supposed to shake them until they dissolved, which ended up taking a little bit longer than I had initially anticipated. It probably took a good 15 to 20 minutes before all the tablets had dissolved, but I must say it was a fun process shaking them. It took a long time, but it was fun. Once the plant food was ready and all dissolved, it was time to fill up the bottom part of the hydroponics garden with water. So it was in liters, so I just converted cups to liters and put in 3 liters of water in the bottom. On the side, there's like this little clear thing to gauge how full your water is. And so far I haven't had to refill it, and it's been a couple of weeks, so that's been really good so far. Next step of the process was adding in the plant food. In the directions, it has all the information about how much of each type that you need to add to how many liters of water. So I just followed the instructions and dumped it in. The next step was taking all of the little plugs and putting them all into the holes. That was fun because they just kept on like slowly dropping because of the water. It was very satisfying. I enjoyed it. And now for the fun part, choosing what seeds I was going to plant. I have like so many seeds, so it was quite the decision-making process. But I ended up landing on a couple of lettuce varieties and some spearmint. So I chose the little gem lettuce that you see in the corner, Livingston's mix, and spearmint, which I think those were good choices. So I put the little gem in the back corner, Livingston's in that corner, and the spearmint all up in the front. I love planting seeds, especially getting to see what all the different seeds look like. And to plant them, I just put a couple of them in each of the little holes. Once they were all planted, the instructions said to put these little blackout stickers on them and then put these tiny little plastic cups on top of them all to mimic like a greenhouse. I think that the stickers are actually kind of cumbersome and not really worth it. The top of the garden has several different buttons on the top, depending on what you're growing. I found out that the setting that you put it on doesn't really matter too much, it just puts on a different color of light. The pump was super duper quiet. I was really happy and impressed by that. Once I had put it all together, it had like these little trellisy sticks inside the package, but they looked kind of funny when I put them all in there. So I don't know if it's just if you have more viney plants that you're growing or what, but I just left them off for now. And then for this next part, I was just messing around with the different light settings and seeing how it changed the colors. And yeah, that is pretty much how easy it was to set up. After a couple of weeks, this is what the plants are looking like now. Most of them look really good and really healthy. I only ended up having one Livingston's lettuce guy sprout, and it's looking like I've got some mold happening, so I'm gonna have to take those out. So I'm not exactly sure what happened here, if it was like too moist or wet, or if the seeds just weren't good, but the ones in here seem to be doing just fine. Like there's a couple of them sprouting, but none of the other ones were working. So I'm not exactly sure about that. Up at the front is the spearmint, and most of these guys are looking pretty good. I mean, they're small, but that's pretty typical for an herb, is for the plants to be really teeny tiny when they first sprout. And then my little gem lettuce is doing stellar. Wonderful. It's all looking very nice and beautiful. And yeah, that is how the plants are doing.
There are a few things about it that, they're okay. They're not my favorite. For example, you can't change the light setting of how long it's on for. You can only change like the color lighting. So I believe that the setting is 14 hours. It might be 16 hours, but it's like a long time that the light will stay on before it shuts off on its own and then turns back on. So I'm pretty sure like I turned it on the first day at like 8 a.m. and then it didn't shut off until like midnight, which it's not my favorite. It could be worse. I usually just throw a blanket on top of it before I go to bed, and that way I don't have to like mess with turning it on or off every day. So there's that. Additionally, another thing is, so the pump is like amazing. I love how quiet it is. Like, you have to like put your ear like right next to it to actually hear it at all. Really awesome. I love that. However, the buttons on the top are like very loud. So if you ever like click the power button, because I know the first night I was like, I don't want this bright light shining at midnight. So I went to turn it off, just to like turn the light off. I would turn it back on in the morning, and it like was very loud. Actually, you know what? Let me show you how loud it is. So this one's the power button here. And then these ones are all just very loud. But yes, other than those few things that really aren't that big of a deal in the first place, it has been a wonderful little garden, and I'm so thrilled that my plants are growing nicely in there, and I can't wait until I'm harvesting off of it and eating my own homegrown salad. And that's it for my little garden video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and happy gardening!